In this video, I'm going to discuss how to draw a pistol from any holster to maximize efficiency and reinforce proper fundamentals. So stay tuned.
Yeah, the other team's moving in the background,
Welcome back, Carlos here with Range 11 Tactical. On this channel, we create content full of useful tips, techniques, and or drills just like this one to help you build and or expand your tactical knowledge base. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. So the draw is one of the most critical aspects when it comes to tactical / combat shooting that you need to master. Who cares if you can shoot perfect bullseyes from 50 yards if you can't efficiently draw your pistol when it really matters, or you fumble because you never really work on your draw. In my opinion, this is one of those gun handling skills that you should train every day. And the beauty of it is that you can practice your draw almost anywhere, even without a pistol. So let's get to it. The draw is actually super simple, but oftentimes I see people making a lot of mistakes or being kind of inefficient with their draw. And mostly it's because they're adding unnecessary steps. Basically, there are 4 things that need to happen to have an efficient and effective draw. Number 1 is you need to grip the pistol. Number 2 is you need to draw it from the holster. Number 3 is you need to bring it center line, and then you need to present it to the target, right? If you do those 4 things, you're going to have a very efficient draw. So let's break those down and give you a few pointers and common mistakes to avoid on your draw. Step number 1 is the grip. You need to grip the pistol as high as possible on the backstrap to ensure proper fundamentals and good positive control of the firearm. If you haven't seen my video on pistol fundamentals, check that one out as I break down the grip into full detail. Also, it doesn't matter where the holster is, this still applies. If we're coming from the side, we're going to grab it as high as possible. From an appendix carry or even an ankle holster, we're still going to grip the gun as high as possible on the back strap. So that's step number 1. Step number 2 is the draw. This is self-explanatory, and it simply means removing the pistol from the holster and disengaging any of the locking mechanisms if the holster has any. Additionally, the second the barrel clears the holster, you need to orient it towards the target. As we all know, we could easily start engaging from that position. All right, step number 3 is we need to bring the gun center line of the body so we can finalize the grip and present the gun to the target, right? It just makes natural sense that we bring it center line because it would be rather awkward to finish our grip here on the side and bring it out. It just makes more sense to bring everything in and punch out, right? Couple things that need to happen as we're doing this. Anytime I reach for my pistol, my support hand side comes in center line of my body, ready to receive. Kind of in line with my chest and rather on the high position there, of course, without exaggerating. Couple things to note here. Anytime this hand reaches for my gun, this one goes into position. Doesn't matter if I'm coming from a table, they work in unison. If I'm coming from up high, they come in unison. Doesn't really matter where my hands are. Anytime this hand goes for my pistol, this hand is ready to receive, right? Little bonus tip, if you place your thumb on your chest, kind of centered and high, what this will do, you'll see in a minute, it will eliminate the most common mistakes during the presentation. So let's get to the presentation part, which is the final step. The last step in the draw process is presenting the gun to the target. The key here is to present the gun straight out to the target. I like to think of it as my pistol is on a track from my chest to the target and it moves along that track straight out. I also like to bring the pistol up as high as possible without exaggerating, as it allows my eyes to see my sights longer as I'm presenting before I have to pull the trigger. The most common mistakes I see during the presentation are what referred to as bowling, where you establish your grip and you bring the gun down and up into your target, or fishing, where you bring the gun up and then down into your target. The problem with this is, number 1, it's not efficient, right? You're moving your pistol in a curved motion instead of straight out. And number 2 is you're not seeing your sights until the very last minute. For example, that mistake I referred to as bowling, sometimes I see people call it as playing volleyball. Is that I'm seeing my target here, and now as the gun is coming up, I'm seeing target, 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 and finally, at the very last minute, my sights come into view, And then I have to make the adjustments as opposed to coming straight out where I'm seeing the sights almost the whole way out during the presentation. If you use that tip I talked about placing your support hand thumb high and centered on your chest, as you establish your grip, it forces you to come straight out because it would be rather awkward to go from here and bring the gun down and up, or to block your field of view and then come down into the target, right? It'll force you to go straight out to the target, again, allowing you to see your sights longer during the presentation process. Lastly, don't add extra movements to your draw process. For example, leave your head neutral, right? As you present the gun and go through your draw process, bring the gun to your eyes, not your eyes to the gun, and leave your shoulders relaxed. That's another common mistake I see is people will go through the draw and they'll get all hunched up and their shoulders are almost in line with their ears, right? Keep your head neutral, shoulders relaxed, and simply go through the steps. Grip the gun, draw it from the holster, bring it center on the body, and present the gun to the target. Okay, so those are my tips on how to properly draw your pistol from any holster. I would recommend you work on your draw daily, but especially during your dry fire sessions. Also, when working on these or refining your draw, start out slow to ensure proper fundamentals and then slowly ramp up the speed. As always, if you found this information valuable, leave me a comment down below and consider subscribing to catch my latest videos. With that, stay safe and train hard.